Let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're basically stepping into a masterclass on the human mind. We're going to explore a profoundly transformative concept, a way to actually take our daily frustrations, those moments we feel the most defensive, and completely turn them into profound spiritual growth. I'm going to guide you step by step through this ancient, yet honestly incredibly practical psychological shift. So if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by interpersonal conflict, you are definitely in the right place. I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second. How do you usually react when you're misunderstood at work or frustrated at home? We all know that exact feeling, right? It's that sudden heat in your chest, the stress, that totally natural defensive ego flare-up when someone questions your motives or just doesn't appreciate your efforts. It's a completely normal reaction to interpersonal friction. But what if that exact moment of conflict was literally the key to your own personal evolution? All right, Section 1, King of Virtues, Bodhicitta, the ancient solution. In Buddhist philosophy, there's this concept known as the King of Virtues, or Bodhicitta. Think of this not just as some abstract religious term, but as the ultimate antidote. It's a highly sophisticated psychological tool that completely solves our modern emotional pain points, and it becomes the absolute root for accumulating immeasurable merit. There's this beautiful quote from the classic text, The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, that asks, "How else to exhaust ignorance? What virtue equals this? What friend is like this? What merit compares?" Basically, it's saying that no worldly good deed, no amount of just standard charity or polite behavior even comes close to the immeasurable merit and power of this awakened mind. So, what exactly is it? Well, bodhicitta is essentially defined as the altruistic intention to attain awakening for the benefit of all beings. It is the ultimate route for eradicating ignorance. To put that into perspective, imagine your own selfishness and ego as this dark, super cluttered room where you just keep stubbing your toe on daily frustrations. Bodhicitta is like finally flipping on a massive, brilliant light. Instantly, the darkness of that self-centered ignorance is illuminated. You stop fighting the room, and you finally start seeing clearly. Moving into part 2, morning visualization, rising sun, setting the psychological stage. Let's take this out of the abstract and make it practical. Setting the psychological stage has to start the absolute moment you open your eyes, way before you face the chaos of the day. And here is the daily journey of how we do that. It's a very clear, actionable path from dawn to dusk. Step 1 is a morning visualization to lock in our intention. Step 2 is daily mindfulness, where we're observing our reactions in real time. And then step 3, we close the loop with evening gratitude. Let's zoom in on that very first step. Okay, the very moment you wake up, before you even check your phone or stress about your to-do list, visualize your altruistic intention, your bodhicitta, as a rising sun. Deliberately picture this incredibly warm, bright light sweeping away your inner shadows, your biases, and all those self-centered anxieties. You are actively choosing to start your day by illuminating and dispelling the darkness within yourself. Which brings us to part 3, practice in work and family, the daily crucible. Once we have that morning light set, we inevitably have to step out into the real world. Your practice isn't really tested when you're just sitting quietly on a meditation cushion, right? It's tested in the high-stress workplace and the intimate, let's be honest, sometimes messy dynamics of your own home. Now, this comparison right here is an absolute game changer. In a normal, ego-driven view, colleagues are often just seen as competitors. They're threats to your promotion or just annoyances to your peace of mind. But shift over to the bodhicitta view. Suddenly, colleagues aren't enemies. They're actually essential spiritual partners. They're giving you the exact real-world scenarios you need to cultivate patience and altruism. It's a complete paradigm shift. So how do we actually go about transforming that friction? Well, when you're misunderstood at work, you have to literally notice that ego flare-up. Don't fight it. Lean into the discomfort. This is the wild paradox here, that painful workplace friction is precisely the tool you need to cultivate an awareness of your own self-grasping. And at home, well, applying compassion instead of blame completely rewires family dynamics. You start seeing your family members, yes, even during a heated argument, as these vital helpers on your own path to selflessness. All right, part 4. Transforming misunderstanding and praise, the power of perspective. Let's drill down even further into this power of perspective. Looking at those specific, really sharp moments of interaction, both the bad and the good, that totally trigger our deepest ego responses.
I really want you to let this sink in. A misunderstanding is absolutely not a setback. I know feeling misunderstood by your boss or a friend feels terrible to the ego, but it is actually a profound opportunity. It is the exact tool you need to practice altruism rather than defensiveness. It perfectly highlights exactly where your ego is attached, which then allows you to observe and gently break down your self-grasping. But hey, what about the good times? When things actually go well and you get praised, your ego loves to instantly jump in and say, "Yep, that is my personal achievement." And of course, that leads straight to pride. To maintain this practice, we have to flip the script and react with humility. We prevent pride from arising by attributing our success directly to the virtue of bodhicitta. We remind ourselves that it's the altruistic mindset that brought the success, not some inflated sense of self.
And finally, part 5, becoming a great friend. The evening reflection. As a day kind of winds down, we enter this final phase. You see, this internal shift we've been practicing, it doesn't just make us a little calmer. It completely transforms our relationship with literally everyone we meet into one of deep, unconditional friendship. This is basically your daily blueprint for an altruistic mindset. These are just practical, silent wishes you can make for people as you go about your day. When you see someone who's confused, you just silently wish them wisdom. For anyone suffering, wish to be their comfort. For those acting badly or wrongly, wish them clarity instead of punishment. And for the virtuous, simply rejoice in their path. Doing this turns you into a great friend to all living beings without expecting a single thing in return. To kind of wrap up the core ideas of this explainer, I want you to consider this really profound truth. If this mind is present, darkness turns to light, and the sea of suffering becomes a boat. True practice isn't about mastering super complex meditative techniques or just hoarding knowledge. It's simply about maintaining this incredibly powerful altruistic mind. If bodhicitta is present, the very things that used to drown you, the misunderstandings, the stress, the conflicts, they literally become the boat that carries you forward. Which brings us to one final, lingering question for you to take away today. The next time you feel that sudden heat in your chest, the very next time you feel frustrated, unappreciated, or misunderstood at work or at home, I want you to pause and ask yourself, when facing troubles and ignorance, do I remember to illuminate them with bodhicitta? Let that be your challenge going forward. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope you can carry this light with you into the rest of your day.